Hello, welcome to our Aging and Spirituality podcast. We have some information today that we hope will be helpful to you now and at any time in your life when you may be helping other people. My name is Chris Jensen.
I'm Kathy Taylor.
We're so glad that you joined us, and we're hoping that we'll be able to help you and help ourselves at the same time. You know, very often in life, we're called on to help others. And as we talk about aging and spirituality, I mean, if we're people who are interested, who are spiritually inclined and want to contact our inner self and know what that expression is through us, we're going to be asked to give of ourselves. I mean, yogis define love as giving of the self. So, you know, maybe you're a caregiver for a child or a parent or a friend or who knows. And the trick is to be able to fully give of yourself, but at the same time, stay centered, energized, and healthy. You know, yogis say we can't be a hospital. You know, we've got to, if you're going to give, to be a sustained giver, you have to be centered and have energy and good health.
Yes.
So, and I think you know what I'm talking about, Kathy, because I know
yeah.
You've been in that
I struggle with overgiving all the time, you know. Yeah, I'm very interested in knowing what those signs are. So when we get to that, I'm going to ask you questions.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's so true. I mean, and particularly women tend to get into this mode, but it's men too. And you know, we want to be able to fully give, but we have to watch out. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the main challenges that we face and some of the ways and some yoga practices that can help us that overcome these challenges and be not only be more centered and even more energized than ever. So the first thing is emotional and physical stress. Often, if we're giving of ourselves, we're taking care of somebody, there are physical, mental, and emotional demands. You know, physically, I mean, my daughter just had a baby, and I've been here quite a bit helping her. And, you know, she's not getting much sleep. I'm doing as much as I can. I'm taking the baby in the morning. And so there's a lot of demands physically, and there's also a lot of mental and emotional stress. You know, she's a new parent, and she's concerned about every little thing. I mean, can't tell you how many times she's had the digital thermometer at his forehead. This baby he's now 10 weeks old, right? And, you know, his temperature's been normal the whole time. But, you know, but there's that mental and emotional stress too. And whether it's a child, a baby like that, or an older person or a friend, you know, someone your own age, they need help. Maybe you have someone in your life that has, you know, that's losing their cognitive abilities and needs help. And so there are all of these demands. There's also, I'm just going to talk about a few of the things that come up because we tend to ignore them, and then we'll do some things to help us deal with them. But we do tend to ignore sometimes both the physical stress. I think people see more, but very often we ignore the mental, emotional stress too, and the toll it takes on us. There's generally a lack of privacy too. When you're helping others, when you're the caregiver for an elderly parent,
right,
there's a lack of privacy. When you're a caregiver for a child, whether it's a baby or an adult child, you know, adult children need help too. I mean, my daughters needed help, at all kinds of help. And I know, Kathy, you've helped your son in many situations.
Absolutely. Never stops when you have a kid. Any parent knows that. They're always a child, yeah.
Right, never stops. And so there's that lack of privacy that takes a toll on us as well. There's sleep deprivation. Whenever you're caregiving for anyone or in any situation where you're really giving of yourself, maybe it's a program, maybe you volunteer somewhere, there's the same issues. And sleep deprivation occurs. You're not getting enough sleep because you're doing so much. And here's the big one: being afraid to ask for help. You Yeah, so it's not that this is big fear, oh, I can't do it. It's that we want to be able to do it and we want to not have to ask for help.
Right, all on our own, which is almost impossible.
Yeah, it never works. It
No,
doesn't
because
work.
it cuts into your personal time. Like that's one thing I was thinking as you're talking. Like I know if I don't get my meditation time, if I don't get my time to be really with myself and, dealing with what's going on, that can be just so detrimental to my mental, emotional health and well-being.
Absolutely. And that's why you have to do that. You have to carve out that time. So I want to go through a few things, and Kathy may have some other ideas too to throw in here. Dealing with the emotional and physical stress. There's a pose in yoga called the star pose. And it's a very simple pose. And what you do in the star pose, you stand and your legs are wide apart, your arms are up, palms facing up.
Yeah.
And you just, right, just like that.
Yep.
And you just stand like that. And you just try to relax and be open. What it does, there's energy that gets stuck in our lower centers, and that pose helps to bring it to the upper centers. And what I like to do when you're doing the star pose is to sense the universal energy behind me, fills every cell of my being, and it radiates out from me. So instead of you being the instrument, you being the doer, you're trying to just be an instrument for universal energy to move through you. It energizes you, brings your energy up, and it can move through you to help whoever it is that you're caregiving to.
So I have a question about that. If you're in the star pose and your feet are apart and you're in that stance, just relaxing, bringing energy in, is the energy coming in through the back of your neck? What's that called? Medulla. Or is it coming up from the ground through your feet, or how does that work?
Energy generally, yogis believe it generally enters the body at the medulla. Okay. So it's generally coming in there. Some people, when they do the star pose, try to sense that it's coming in everywhere, coming in through your entire body. But generally, that's where it's coming in. Yeah.
Okay.
So the star pose is fantastic for that. There's another thing called the aura tie down. And this is something that you can protect yourself with, because you're going to be around people. You're going to be around whoever it is you're giving care to. And one of the reasons we get exhausted sometimes is because other people's energy, we're drawing it in to us. Their vibration is coming into us. And so we're not as strong in our own vibration. It's better for us to be strong in our own vibration and bring that to the table. So the aura tie down is also very simple. You just stand with.
I'm gonna do it for them so they can see it.
Yes, that's great.
Okay. So stand in.
And then you're bringing your palms together in front of you, and then you bring them around behind you, and then you bring them back in front. And you're sensing a sphere of white light that's above your head, and it's pouring down all the way down from above your head to your feet as you're doing that. And what this does, and you do that 3 or 4 times, like she just did. What that does is it strengthens you within your own vibration. It strengthens your aura so that when you're helping others, you're bringing the best of you to them, and you're not just absorbing their energy. No matter how good their energy is, it's not your energy. And so that's very helpful. And then Kathy, she also mentioned, very important to take that time for meditation, to take that time for whatever it is for you that helps you regroup. Maybe you want to do a few yoga poses, maybe you want to do a workout, I don't know, but something contemplative like meditation is very, very helpful, and you don't need a lot of time. You could spend 15 minutes. You can take that 15 minutes away. It's important that you give yourself that amount of time.
Can I just say something about that? Because that happened to me today. I came back when I was playing tennis, and I was playing crappy, and I had this attitude, and I had, I still struggle with being on the court and trying to let that go, and just play my game. But if something emotionally is taking over, it's going to win, like I have to pay attention to it and figure out what's going on. So when I got home, I was like, okay, what is going on? And my body was just not happy. It was just like feeling anxious. My digestion was off. It was it just wasn't happy about what's going on. It's probably some of the foods that I'm eating that I have to look at. But what I did was I came home, and this is what I mean by self-care, paying attention to what your needs are. I put on some music, some Gabriel Roth dance music, and I just danced it out. I just let my body do whatever it wanted to do, just letting the energy go so it could flow through me. And when I got done, I felt so much more relaxed, so much, the emotions left, had a few tears, I let them go. And this, it's important to know that you can do that kind of stuff and you're not crazy. You're not losing it. You're not losing it. We all go through this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you really do have to find the things that work for you. So that's one that works for me in terms of releasing emotions that I don't know where they're coming from. And I'm not particularly interested in sitting there analyzing what the heck is going on and trying to figure it out. I just want to let them go, just go.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
You don't have to analyze what's going on or why it's going on. You just need a way for you to regroup and center.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that, or a tie off, because I've had many people ask me about that, and unless they can see what it is, it's really hard for them to understand what it is.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad you showed it to them. That was good. So it's very important to acknowledge it and take that time for yourself. I can tell you, one of the first weeks after my daughter's baby was born, the baby was early, was very small, there was a lot of angst. And so I was, helping them quite early in the morning. And when normally my day begins, I do my meditation and I do postures. Before I do anything else, I do yoga postures.
Yes.
I wasn't doing any of that initially. And then later in the day, somewhere along the line, I would meditate, and I may or may not have done the postures. And it just didn't work. I knew it. And so then I got up a little bit earlier and did my meditation, did some postures, not all of them, because I could do the rest later, but did what I needed to be centered and bring the best of me to the table. Because without that, I wasn't bringing the best of me to the table. It was very different. And I felt so different. There was a lot more energy there.
You just strap that baby on the front of you and do your postures. I know, I want to see some video of that. Doing your postures with the little guy right there in his sack. That would be so cute.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. So those things are helpful. And one of the items I talked about was the lack of privacy. And that's one of the things that I was feeling, without realizing it. And, okay, you have to say to yourself, I can truly find 20 to 30 minutes for myself.
Yes.
And it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes the decision to take that time to be by yourself and do what it takes for you to regroup, whether it's singing a song, whether it's meditation, whatever it is.
Yes.
You need to take it. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. Everybody can take 30 minutes or 20 minutes to do it.
That's so true. And I also want to say that women are notorious for putting other people first.
Yeah.
It's that theory of being on the plane, and you got to put your oxygen on first and then you put it on the kid. And I know that your mind wants to turn that around. Mine does. But you have to do it. Bottom line, you have to take care of yourself first in order to have that relationship that you can give to the other.
That's the point right there. You can't really fully give in that relationship unless you're coming from a place of strength yourself.
Overflowing everything, heart energy, everything. Yeah.
And sleep deprivation, that's often a problem when you're helping in this way. And I'll share with you a sleep breath that helps you sleep more deeply so you get better sleep. And in general, breathing techniques. In another podcast that we did on a different topic, we shared a breathing technique that's very helpful. And any deep breathing techniques will increase your energy and your life force, and that also helps you to sleep better. But the sleep breath, and things about sleep, don't be on your phone or your computer for at least for a half hour before you go to bed.
Guilty.
Yeah, I know that's tough for people. The blue light, really is harmful. Try to not eat for about 3 hours before you go to bed. Those things make a difference. You'll sleep better.
I'm really interested in the sleep breathing thing that you're talking about. So maybe we'll do that exercise another time too. But because I just got this Fitbit thing and it monitors my sleep. And now when I'm looking at my sleep, I'm realizing that I'm only in deep, deep sleep, like an hour or so a night. The rest of it is either light sleep or restless.
Okay.
I thought I was sleeping like a baby.
Yeah. Well, maybe you were. Maybe that's how babies sleep, right?
I don't know. Okay. So I'm assuming the deep sleep is probably a good thing, right? You want to get a lot of that.
Yeah, you want to get deep sleep.
Yeah.
And so we might as well, let's share the sleep breath. It's very, very helpful.
Okay.
To do the sleep breath, you inhale for 7 through your nose, retain your breath for 2, and then exhale through your mouth for 11. So it's like this. I'm going to inhale
7 to 11.
Yeah, inhale 7 through the nose. Retain your breath for 2, and exhale through your mouth for 11. You're making kind of a whoosh sound when you exhale. It'll put you to sleep.
How many? How many do I do?
You can do 3, 4, 5, 6, so whatever it takes to get you calmed down and ready to sleep.
Kind of like anesthesia. You'll just fall asleep as you're doing it. That'd
Sometimes,
be good.
we did this. I teach a pranayama class, and we do a half hour of different breathing practices. And so one time I said, okay, now at the end, we have some people in later time zones that are on this class.
All right. They don't want to go to sleep, or they do. Yeah.
Yeah, they get energized from all the breathing practices to increase their energy. So I said, okay,
Right.
we're going to do the sleep breath. So we did the sleep breath, and then when we came onto the Zoom afterwards, they said, okay, now we're all sleeping.
We're all going to sleep. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So use it at the appropriate time. But yeah, that's good to know because, I don't like taking drugs. I don't like taking even supplements to go to sleep and stuff. If that works, I'm in.
Yeah, it's a great thing. And, also a lot of health practitioners say that going to bed earlier makes a difference. If you can be in bed, the hours between 9 and midnight are supposed to be a good time to go to sleep. So if you can go to bed at 9, that's great. If you can't, 10 is good. The later you go to bed, the health practitioners say it's not as good as sleep. It's not a healing.
That's good. I've always been a 9 to 5 sleeper.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. And the other point I wanted to talk about today was asking for help. Knowing that you need help. I think there's a part of us that we want to help and we want to give, and we don't want to think that I can't do this for this person without help, or I need help to do it. And I don't know what to do here. Maybe you have the energy, but you don't know what to do to help. And just if you can acknowledge that, if you get some quiet time to acknowledge, oh, yeah, I need some help.
You're talking about physical help, not help from the inner self or guidance. You're talking about in the world, I need people to come in and support me.
In the world, I need somebody or some information to help me.
Right. Gotcha.
And you got to be able to ask for it. Yes. If you ask for it, it will come, and the universe will provide it as well. You've got to ask for it. I mean, there's 2 aspects of that. You want to go inside and ask for help, but be able to, like, maybe you get an insight that you need to take a course, or you need to bring someone in. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to physically ask and do that. My daughter, when her baby was having trouble latching, and so she understood about asking for help. We talked about that, and she had lactation consultants and they didn't help, but she had,
Yeah.
her Lamaze teacher came in and gave her some things that helped. And so, that made a difference,
Yes.
being able to ask and get some information and get some help.
This is a real important point for all of the people who are struggling right now in the world with what's going on, having been isolated for years now and missing their communities and stuff. This is the time to really start reconnecting and asking for those support networks again. They're critical.
It really is important. It really is.
Yeah.
We started a Zoom support group at the yoga center
Right.
at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were thinking, since in-person classes have reopened, even though the pandemic isn't gone, the support group would probably go away, and the people did not want that. The people who come to it really wanted to continue.
Wow.
Because they need it.
They do need it.
They need it.
Connection.
And we all need help of whatever sorts.
That's for sure.
None of us can be an island. It's just not like that.
That's for sure.
So that's really important. Just sometimes it's an ego thing, not wanting to ask for help, thinking that I have to know all the answers, I have to solve all the problems, I can do it. We're social animals. We're here to help each other.
Yes. That's very true. I'm guilty of that. I'm one of those I can do everything myself people. And it isn't true. And the older I've grown, the more I know I need a network of people to support me. And I reach out, more than I used to, like today when I was, not in the best of, because I try to bring my best self, even when I'm playing tennis, right? But I texted someone and said, sorry for not being my, normal bubbly self. I was just struggling with something and had trouble letting go. Years ago, I would never have done that. I would never thought to do that, So yeah, it's important, all the people that are in your life, to ask for support, but also show them when you're hurting, or show them when you're, not at your best.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, you need help. Yeah.
And people are happy to help because you're so vulnerable. They're happy to step in and help.
Because otherwise you go home going, why doesn't anybody help me?
Yeah, right. You haven't asked.
You did
help up for it. Yeah.
Exactly. They have no clue. They're busy enjoying the California sun. They have no clue what's going on with you. So yeah, you do have to ask. You do have to point it out.
So those are a few of the things that we thought it'd be helpful to share. And we come across this stuff all the time. It's not that we always are on top of it. We have to remind ourselves, and these are things that help us get through it.
Absolutely.
We hope it'll be helpful for you.
We hope it will be, for sure. Yeah, just know that no matter how far down the path you get, you're still dealing with challenges every day. I mean, when I came home today, I was like, seriously, what is going on? Like, you should be past this stuff by now, but no.
No.
Part of life is part of being a human being. Love yourself, get back into your heart and experience that divine love, and love yourself no matter where you are.
Yeah, give yourself that freedom.
Absolutely.
So let us know how you're doing with all this. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, send your questions. We want to get to a place where you folks are sending us questions so we can create some pods around it and really, create some valuable stuff for you guys that you can use in your daily life. So don't hesitate to contact us. You can find those in the podcast location, or where we can be found. I'm at KathyLeeTaylor.com. She's at theyogacenter.org. So yes, please do contact us. We would love to have that happen. All right.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
See you next week. Bye.